Hi everyone, Balinor here. Today I want to talk about raiding with Gilgamesh Cataphract. That's my main class and specialization. And today we will talk about endgame raiding. So what I normally do and what let me achieve the sub 3 minutes with the Arisen Morrigan World Raid Boss run. Gilgamesh current status is probably a bit too much, so current status of Spiked Shield 3, because that's the main damage dealing skill for Gilgamesh at endgame, is currently a bit too strong. We know that, the community knows that, and Odi will make some change, will update it, will nerf it, let's say it a way or another. It will come, not sure when and or how, but it will come. Aside from that, with current status, I will show you what I learned from my runs and why I do some of the stuff you see in my videos. So the main thing is the main class. The class is Gilgamesh. As you maybe know, Gilgamesh is based on Ward Recovery is the only class in tier 10 that recovers Ward without the need of a certain specialization. It starts at 50% of your Ward, and when gets hit, you regen Ward. You regen mana. So something you want to do with Gilgamesh also in dungeons is to not be too tanky with defense and resistance, because if you get hit a bit, you recover mana, and if you have mana, you can deal damage and you won't slow down in your runs. Also, Gilgamesh have steadfast, so you normally don't wear any status immunity gear or status resistance gear. Then the specialization, Cataphract is the best specialization for Gilgamesh doing damage from Ward, so with Spiked Shield skills. And Cataphract is really good because of 12% HP bonus, because HP increases your Ward in a not direct way, because it's a sum of HP and mana divided by 2, multiplied for the Ward modifiers you have, and also the HP increases with ascension levels. Another important thing of why Cataphract is so important is this ability. So with Cataphract you regen more Ward each turn, so the regeneration of Ward from the class gets summed with the one from Cataphract, so you regen more Ward, and since, as I said, the Spiked Shield deals damage based on your Ward you currently have, and the playtest it, your recovery is really important. Then the setup, as you maybe saw in my video, is this one. Is a Gilgamesh Cataphract full crit and Ward setup. You don't really want to care about attack stats nor defense or resistance. The latest change was I added 2 Ashen Rubies in my axe, so they give you lifesteal, and that's really important because you can now just use Spiked Shield as a skill and no longer Osmo Strike 3. Also in long runs, especially with Arisen Morrigan, Osmo Strike 3 at a certain point will deal 0 damage, so it won't heal you, you will have to start using Panaceas. While with Spiked Shield you can just deal damage, because the Spiked Shield penetration works based on Ward, so it's super high, so you always deal damage, and if the adornments trigger, you get your life back. In the speedruns, the ones I made with Arisen Morrigan, I was using all the berserk buffs, so I was getting 3000 damage per turn just from dots, and so having lifesteal really makes you faster because you don't have to use potions, use Osmo Strike every 3 rounds. Then another 2 important things is to remember that in these months OD made some changes. The first one was with the release 3 of Orna. Now you get damage from dots. Also in the rounds you don't attack, but also when you use multi-round skills, so for example Deific Channel or Divine Bastion, you still get the dots damage, so that's also to consider when you do these runs. Another thing that's quite an issue at the end of these long runs, but also in Endless, is currently when Spiked Shield misses, it still uses your ward. And so that might be a problem if you want to go to a speedrun or we're facing a berserk enemy at floor, I don't know, 300, that might be a problem. Because the biggest problem of Gilgamesh is dexterity. Gilgamesh misses a lot. Anyway, so this is my build, quite optimized, quite great gear. What it has currently is 246,000 ward and 62% crit chance. With Wyrm Song, so the crit up buff, it gets to 92, and then Spiked Shield 3 has 5% innate crit, so I reach 97% crit chance. It's not 100%, but you have to be a bit lucky in these rounds too, so that's it. When I didn't have the Ashen Rubies, it was 99%. Then you have a good amount of defense, resistance, and 2000 mana. That's really important, but also HP. Almost 23,000 K HP, that's really important. And also in my long runs, if I use Panacea, I have Feyeti Horns that increase the amount of HP you get from Panacea. So normally with Berserk Dots, it means 1 round more without healing using Panacea. So, going to the rotation, I won't run an Arisen Morrigan, maybe I should. I wasn't sure what to say, what to run in this video. I have a couple of them, I'm keeping 2 of them at least for when the Spiked Shield change will come, so I can try, make a video, do some testing and say what are my experience there, maybe some hints on other people too, about what we should change as Gilgamesh players when that change comes. Sorry, my English, as always, is not perfect. Okay, let's go with Arisen Morrigan. So what I normally run in Arisen Morrigan, because you saw, I think I have 3 or 4 videos about Arisen Morrigan speedruns, World Red Boss, but actually I run, I think 20, 30 Arisen Morrigans in solo, trying to understand how to do stuff, how to optimize runs. Obviously I had some big fails, like I forgot to heal with dots and I died, or miscalculated stuff, or I lost my ward turns and died badly. Of course, that happened. Okay, so I normally start with Ortanite because it gives you ward rounds, ward regen a bit, and absorption. It's important to have absorption so you get your mana back from the start. Then Prince Wall, Golem Fortitude, that's because Arisen Morrigan deals a lot of damage, and so I normally go full buffed. Then I use the offensive buffs. I normally go then Divine Bastion, so I get the 100% damage absorption. I'm still not sure if it's the right rotation, because your ward is at 100% for many rounds, and that's not optimal, because you should want to hit her with Spike Shield 3 every time your ward is at 100%. Anyway, Gunner is cool because you deal more damage, but you lose almost all your resistance, but that's why she hits you and you regen mana. You can keep attacking without using potions. Okay, so normally in my speedruns, in the big one, the fast ones, I use 4 main potions, main items. So in this video currently I used Warcry. That wasn't needed because I normally use another item. Also, it's important to say that my axe in raids have the water element, because I'm frozen faction, so the water element gives me extra damage. That's important. Also, Arisen Morrigan doesn't have water resistance, so that's an important thing to remember. I have here in the slot above the Warcry elemental skill, because when I run stuff like Feyetis, so it uses Prince Wall, is a problem, so I just remove my element from the weapon. Okay, so buffs are up. I have around 20 rounds. Another thing I tried to learn was how many rounds I had to have from the start of the speedrun to be able to kill Arisen Morrigan without going at 0 rounds, but also not having too many rounds left or spent recovering. So I got a couple rounds from Ortonite, from Divine Bastion, and that's it. Also, the Vivific channel is a multi-round skill, but gives some ward rounds back. Not much, but you have to remember that too in your calculations. Okay, so normally in a run you should go the Vivific channel now, Worm Song, and attack with Spike Shield. Maybe with an Ambrosia because of the attack down I got from Golem. But in a fast speedrun you should go big, so Smelly Mushroom is the item that gives you Berserk 3, so that's the big buff that you can only get with this item or the Raider, yeah, I don't remember the tier 9 spec, yeah, I think it's Raider, yeah. The introduction of this item is pretty big for speedrunning and doing the highest damage possible, because you can use another specialization. With Gilgamesh, the best specialization, as I said, is Cataphract, because you get more ward and more ward recovery. And more ward recovery means more DPS, so more damage, and so faster runs. What you want to do after this one is going with the Berserk Mushroom, Standard Mushroom, just all up, so 25% damage. What I use normally in these runs, as I said before, is the I don't know how to pronounce that, but this one gives the attack up, crit up, the single one ups, all of them, and also toxic, but we also got toxic from Smelly Mushroom. So then you just have to run Panacea once. As you can see, my Panacea with the Feyeti Helm heals more, 20% more. So now I have all my buffs. What I want to do now is using the HP channel. You have to monitor your HP, because as you can see, I'm getting 3000 dots per round. And so now I have everything up. What you can do now is buffing the temporary attack up, if you want a bigger attack or just spamming Spiked Shield. In my speedruns I saw that probably just attacking is enough. You still have to be lucky with the epic channel and with the Ashen Rubies, because you might die if not. So, the damage, the Ashen Rubies triggered 50k HP, 40k HP, the the deific channel is still up. An important thing with these runs, if you have enough ward, is you don't really consider what Arisen Morrigan is doing. Oh, this one was a mistake by me, sorry. I was speaking. That's important, but also I think a bit sad that Arisen Morrigan, that's the hardest boss, and with Gilgamesh, if you are strong enough, you don't consider what she's doing, and it's quite sad, because yeah, you should quite sad. I don't like this part of the mechanics, because she should be stronger. You should consider it more. I said I made a mistake because I didn't have the deific channel up last round and I still clicked Spiked Shield 3, sorry. What you should do now, 11 rounds, ward is below 50%, don't have deific channel, so you just go Divine Bastion. So 3 rounds, you get some extra rounds back and ward at 100%. Important thing here is you don't have the epic channel up, but you know that I know from experience that from math 2 you can try. So you go 1 of Spiked Shield 3, and that's one of the main reasons Ashen Rubies are great, because as you saw I dealt damage and I recovered my HP, so that's in 1 round. Before you had to do Osmo and then Spiked Shield, or Panacea Spiked Shield, with Panacea before or after, it depends. Now I have 183, so it's not full, but I know that if I run the epic channel now, it will go back to full, and so my other Spiked Shield will be almost full again. That's it. Now my HP is as 7k, I have bleeding, so in 2 rounds I will die if Ashen Rubies don't proc. Okay, that procced because they have 2, so you have only the 25% that neither one of them will proc. So you have 50% that one of the 2 will go, and have 25% that both trigger and heal you a lot. Also you deal a lot of damage, so you are always at full health, less the 3k standard. Okay, now ward is at less than 50%, but I have the epic channel still up, so I'll still hit. As you saw, my not 100% chance made me not crit. That was bad. Anyway, I should go Divine Bastion. When you go Divine Bastion, you have to calculate your current HP, because I will lose almost 10k HP. The biggest problem, I lost couple runs, is if she's running the skill that gives you bleeding, or maybe she can burn you and you are using Divine Bastion, maybe you will die before Divine Bastion completes because of dots. Again, let's see if the Spiked Shield triggers the Ashen Rubies lifesteal. I have 2 chances. Oh, I missed. That's super bad. Now I'm also bleeding, so I don't remember how much it will deal to me. I might die, maybe not. In this case, you just Panacea. Okay, so now ward is not perfect, but you should go the epic channel, so ward will go up to the top, and also you start dealing more damage, and hopefully you'll get your HP back with... no. Unlucky. Anyway, I have still the epic channel, and let's see again if Ashen Rubies. Okay, they procced. Let's continue until the epic channel goes down or a ward reaches around 30% of your total. Okay, so as before, just Divine Bastion. Of course, what I'm saying is based on my gear, so if you have a different amount of ward, you might have to do different choices, because currently Arisen Morrigan will start dealing more damage, and so at some point your ward recovery will start to have some problems. You will have to start using more ward recovery skills. You still have to monitor the ward rounds. That's also another problem. Maybe instead of using Divine Bastion to recover your ward, you just use 3 times Ward of Ortonite, so you get also rounds. So that might be a problem. Currently, with this amount of ward, you can run the entire Arisen Morrigan without caring too much. Maybe the last 3 millions are a bit tricky because you start missing, but that currently I'm strong enough to kill her quite fast. Also pretty important, with all these buffs, even without the Vic channel you deal a good amount of damage. Let's try to see if we get the life back, because if I run the Vic channel now, my life will be super low then, so just let's try it. Yeah, more than 1 million without the Vic channel. So my life went up, and I'll go the Vic channel now. Not sure if I'll go back to full ward because she's trying to hit me quite hard. Yeah, not complete, but should be good enough. So 2 millions. Yeah, she's starting to hit quite hard. Yeah, I really love these rubies. They are healing my HP. That's awesome. Let me just show you now what you were using before was Osmos Type 3, but at this point that's 27 millions in, they deal 0, so that's a problem. That was just a test for the showcase. So at this point, before Ashen Rubies, you just had to use Panacea, and without the Fey Horns, Panacea gives you 9k back, and the dots are 3k, so 3 rounds, and the channel is 3 rounds, so that starts to be a problem. If you are not able to keep the epic channel up or Divine Bastion up, your life will go down, you will die. My life is also the total amount of HP is important, because if that one is too low, you cannot store enough HP to resist, let's say, 5 rounds of dots, for example. Okay, I think I can go Divine Bastion here. She's starting to hit quite hard, so you have to start slowing down a bit the damage. As before, ward almost full, HP not, so let's try to heal. Didn't work. I don't really know, let's try. Okay. Ashen Rubies don't always proc, that's why my speedruns are not just the first try, but maybe I kill 5 or 10 Arisen Morrigans for the good speedrun. Also, the hardest part of an Arisen Morrigan speedrun, the World Red Boss, is spawn them, especially not when the event went off. That's the main problem of these kind of speedruns. I'd really like to have the codex button to fight them, as you can do already for mobs if you complete the codex for that monster. Not that my codex is complete for Arisen Morrigan, because my codex is, I never really digged into codex. Anyway, she's almost dead. We have no HP. Last 2 rounds didn't trigger the rubies, so just panacea. In the end game, sometimes in my videos people say, why you are using all these panaceas, you are wasting them. But in fact I have around 10k panaceas. I don't really use them often. Also, since Ambrosia came, a lot of times you don't really need panaceas in other contexts, so it's fine to use panaceas here. I don't really have any other places to use them, especially if you're trying to go out to your personal record. That's I think it's a good investment. My main problem is the smelly mushroom. I have 41, maybe another 100 in the castle. They will end, and that might be a problem for speedruns. Not that speedruns is my main thing in Orna, just a little thing I did and had a lot of good feedbacks from people. Okay, so this is a problem for Gilgamesh, because your ward is not high enough, your HP is not high enough, you don't have the epic channel. What you should do probably is try to get... that's complex. Let's try to heal. Even more complex. Okay, I think in this case the spiked shield with Arisen Morrigan with this damage dealt is a bit of an issue, so you should go Panacea so you have enough HP to run Divine Bastion and not caring too much about dots. Now we are in that standard rotation when you try to... Oh, Asher Rubies don't work. Why? Okay. Yeah. Let's try with these ones instead. Yeah, she's dealing a lot of damage. If you watch my speedruns, always when I deal like 28 to 30 million damage to her, that's the problem, because your ward doesn't stay up, so you deal less damage and that's not fun. Also the HP goes down, etc. Because now I can run the epic channel, but my ward won't be high enough. Anyway, I could kill her even without it, but just for testing, I want to try to get a big hit now, just for testing, so let's see how this works. This is quite good, this amount of ward. The problem is she deals a lot of damage, so I won't get the full ward. That's a good amount. I can deal 2 damage before dots kill me, and that's it. Okay, so that's it for the run. Maybe it's a bit really specific content, just wanted to explain a bit better what I normally do in these kind of runs. Probably not many people do these kind of runs, or are maybe not even that interested in these choices, because maybe if you... Of course I didn't get anything good. Normally you don't do this kind of raids in one run. If you just if I did this Arisen Morrigan in 2 runs, sorry, so in 2 hours, without the smelly mushroom, maybe that could have been still quite fast, quite enjoyable, and that's okay. But yeah, I wanted to have a video on my channel where I explain a bit better how I run my Arisen Morrigan, and then if other people want to try to beat my record, that's fine. As I said, surely in the future Spiked Shield will get some kind of changes, nerf, so you don't have too much time. So if anyone does a good Arisen Morrigan run or any other raid, let me know, let me link the video or the screenshot, and I'll be happy to look at it. And so that's it. Back to my build, back to my charter. Of course, Chimera best bet for this kind of runs because of Berserk 1, and that's it. Thank you for having watched my video. It's quite long as the last one. Sorry, I had a lot to say and was quite long. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.